Hey guys, it's ToProForuGames, or Adam. Welcome back to another one of my Black Ops 3 Zombies top 5 videos. And today we're going to be going over the top 5 DLC weapons added into Black Ops 3 Zombies. So starting off with Zetsubou no Shima, every DLC had 4 DLC guns added into it. So ZNS had 4, Gorod Krovi had 4, and Revelations had 4 as well. So a total of 12 new DLC weapons. Now you may be wondering, am I going to be including wonder weapons on this list? And the answer is no. Only regular weapons in the box. Now the Thunder Gun was a DLC weapon added into Revelations, but it is a wonder weapon, so we're only going over the 12 regular DLC weapons added into Black Ops 3 Zombies. So coming in at number 5 on my list, I have the L4 Siege from Gorod Krovi, and I gotta say, Gorod Krovi introduced a lot of really good DLC weapons, and the L4 Siege is a really awesome and surprisingly a pretty effective weapon. And Black Ops 3 at the time really needed another rocket launcher, because prior to Gorod Krovi, the only rocket launcher or explosive we really had was the XM53, and that thing was kind of disappointing. I don't think anybody used it, and we really needed something else. And prior to Gorod Krovi coming out, it came into multiplayer as a DLC weapon, and thankfully they added it to Gorod Krovi because this thing is a beast. It's effective and it's a really fun gun to use. I definitely would have loved seeing the L4 Siege on other maps in Black Ops 3 Zombies, because weapons like the HG40 and the MX Grand from Zetsubou actually made their way to Gorod Krovi as well. So unfortunately, the L4 Siege is only on Gorod Krovi, but it kind of works best on Gorod because Gorod is a pretty close quarters map. You throw on danger closest on that map, and the boss fight becomes pretty damn easy with the L4 Siege, and doing the Dragon Strike, getting that upgraded or getting the regular version of that is a lot easier with the L4 Siege as well. And specific Easter egg steps, the L4 Siege is just perfect for Gorod Krovi and is definitely one of my favorite DLC weapons in Black Ops 3 and probably one of the better guns in Black Ops 3 Zombies. So coming in at number 4 on my list, I have the PPSH, and we're sticking with Gorod Krovi. And the PPSH, you know, it's the PPSH, guys. The PPSH was a beast back in World at War, and we've been wanting the PPSH to come back for such a long time, and finally, in Gorod Krovi, we got it. Now, the PPSH definitely isn't as good as it used to be back in World at War Zombies, just because here in Black Ops 3, there's a lot of good guns, and in World at War, there are only a handful, or not even a handful of really good weapons, so the PPSH really stood out. But here in Black Ops 3, it may not be as good, or it may not seem as good as it was in World at War, but it is still an amazing weapon, and it's a fan favorite. So coming in at number 3 on my list, I have the MARSHAL 16s, and actually, you know what? I don't even know if it's the MARSHAL 16s. Let's just call it the MARSHALs for now. Now, the MARSHALs are on ZNS and only ZNS, sadly, because these things are beast and everybody loves them. I really wish it was on Gorod Krovi. I think these weapons on Gorod would be absolutely amazing, just because, you know, they're shotgun pistols, and it would work perfectly on Gorod Krovi. But on ZNS, you know, ZNS doesn't really have a lot of good things on that map. There aren't a lot of positive things about ZNS. This is definitely one of those few positive things. And the thing about the MARSHALs, they're not only powerful, but they're really fun to use as well. Now, since ZNS has Thrashers, and you have Thrashers spawning in like every 10 seconds, well, not actually, but you guys understand. Thrashers, there's a lot of them on this map, right? So I think the MARSHALs were kind of for the Thrashers, and I can understand why the MARSHALs aren't on, you know, Gorod Krovi or Revelations, but still, the MARSHALs are such powerful weapons. They're mobile, and again, they're just fun to use. Like, these things are just dual-wield shotgun pistols. Like, I don't know what's not fun about using the MARSHAL. The non-PAP version is pretty damn good. The PAP version is even better, and sure, after round 30-ish, or 35-ish, probably not the best weapons in the world, but then again, what weapons are really all that good after round 35? So overall, guys, the Marshals, I know you guys love them. I love them. Too bad that they are only on Zetsubou no Shima, because honestly, who's gonna go back and play that map? So coming in at number 2 on my list, I have the Rift E9, and this weapon is an energy weapon. It's on Revelations, and this thing is really, really beast. Like, you guys probably don't know how beast this thing actually is. Now, the one thing with this weapon is if you don't have double tap 2.0 on, you are going to suffer with this gun just because the fire rate is so slow. Now, when you have double tap 2.0 on, which you probably will have most of the time, especially with all those gobble gums where you can get extra perks, the Rift E9 is a monster. And like, I'm talking round 50-ish, like round 50, round 60, it's killing zombies. Aim for the head and you are going to kill zombies. You can put on, you know, Dead Wire or Blast Furnace, and you have a good weapon, not only for the lower rounds, but the higher rounds as well. And there really aren't that many box weapons that aren't wonder weapons that are that effective in the higher rounds. It's just very uncommon. Now, one strange thing about this Rift E9 is, like, it's so powerful against the zombies, right? You would think, man, this thing absolutely destroys the Panzer and the Margwa, and that really isn't the case. I feel like the Panzer, you shouldn't use this weapon against the Panzer, but when it comes to the Margwa, it's okay, but still, it's kind of surprising because it does so well in the higher rounds with zombies, and then it just doesn't really seem all that effective against the Margwa and the Panzer. Like, I took this into the boss fight, or the first and second boss fight, and I really wasn't all that pleased with it, which again is really, really strange. But besides that, this is a fun gun to use. It kind of reminds me of the Banshee a little bit, because that thing really isn't that good, but it's an energy weapon and it's a bit different and it's definitely fun to use. But this gun is a lot better than the Banshee. It's an energy weapon, and if you haven't really used the Rift E9 all that much, jump on Revelations and use this thing, because you would actually be surprised how effective this thing is. So coming in at the number 1 spot on my list, guys, there are a lot of great DLC weapons in Black Ops 3 Zombies, but to me, the most effective, the most useful one is hands down the NX Shadowclaw. No, honestly, the NX Shadowclaw is a really good weapon, but we all know it would make number 1 spot. The one gun that I like the most out of all the DLC weapons added into Black Ops 3 has to be the FFAR. And the FFAR is kind of underrated in my opinion, because when it comes to DLC weapons on Gorod Krovi, I really feel like the FFAR isn't talked about all that much, because you have the PPSH, and that's like a fan favorite. You have the L4 Siege, which is like surprisingly good and really fun to use, and you have the NX Shadowclaw, which is actually a really awesome, fun to use weapon. And then there's just the FFAR. And the FFAR, God, I can't say that anymore, holy crap. The FFAR is a really good weapon. For those of you that don't know, the FFAR is the FAMAS from Black Ops 1, and when I first found out this gun was going to be on Gorod Krovi, I was a bit worried, because the FAMAS in Black Ops 1 was so damn bad, or Black Ops 1 Zombies specifically. Multiplayer was a beast, but in Zombies, not so much. It had 3 big problems. It didn't do enough damage, it didn't have enough ammo, and the fire rate was way too high. It was great for points in the early rounds, but if you pack-a-punched it, say goodbye to all of your ammo, and again, it didn't really do that much damage. So here on Gorod Krovi, I wasn't expecting much out of it, but it really surprised me. I absolutely love the FFAR because it's the opposite of the FAMAS from Black Ops 1. It has a good amount of ammo, not crazy, but it's a healthy amount of ammo. It does a ton of damage, and the fire rate isn't as high. It's still high, but it's not crazy high, and it's just the perfect weapon. And I love how it kind of is only on Gorod Krovi, because when we're talking about weapons on Gorod, the FFAR doesn't really come up that much. And whenever I do play on Gorod Krovi, I always look forward to using the FFAR. Kind of like when I'm playing on Origins, I look forward to using the SCAR. When I'm playing on Nuketown, I look forward to using the M27, right? These are just like gems only on one map, and this weapon right here is definitely my favorite DLC weapon in Black Ops 3 Zombies. So there we go, guys. Those are my 5 favorite DLC guns added into Black Ops 3 Zombies, and if you're curious what I think about the rest of the DLC guns added into Black Ops 3 Zombies, I will have a link in the description to a video where I rate every single DLC weapon that was added into Black Ops 3 Zombies. Not just these 5, but every other weapon like the NX Shadow Claws, the HG40, the Razorback, just for example. All 12 of them, link is in the description. If you guys enjoyed this video, like always, make sure to leave it a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe for more Treyarch Zombies content. Peace out.